remind me at the end, and we'll do that. Okay, so we are, okay, this is a bit weird because now I have it on two screens. Fine. So Laptop and Desktop Workgroup call. What's this? This session is being recorded. Yes, we know that. Code of conduct. Yeah, so please do mute if you're not speaking. Otherwise, we'll hear interesting conversations that you probably didn't want us to hear. Keep your contributions short if you can, but don't feel you have to be too short. We're here for a conversation. Except to be reminded about if I think you're going on a tangent, I might say something. And please put your hand up if you would like to talk. I will do my best with Jitsi. I'm not super familiar with. This is the first time I'm moderating with Jitsi, so I may not get it perfect. So what we'll talk about today, we'll review the minutes and the governance and the news. And then we'll also, I will give you an update on the laptop project, and Emmerich will join in a little bit there. Then we'll take a look at other areas of interest for the group. So there is a worksheet which is full of interesting things relating to laptops. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll see if there are any updates. We'll talk about if anyone can take anything on, take ownership on it. And then we will see if there's anything else we want to talk about and close the call. All right, minutes and governance. So we have minutes of the last call. Let's see. Can I open this? Will you be able to see it? Yes. So I wasn't in the last call, so this is a journey of discovery for me. We are, oh yes, so we talked about a new way of governing this group, but also the enterprise working group. And that was basically around saying that the main function of this group, one of the main functions of the group, is to find people to work on stuff, not just to track stuff. So the idea that we would have, we would track statuses of, does it have an owner, is it being worked on, or should we try and find that so it can be worked on. Just skipping through this. Then I think Tom came and gave the update last time around from the foundation and worksheet. Okay, cool. Any questions or improvements on this? Is there anything that anyone can see that is not correct? And if you're watching on recording, you've just left it too late. Sorry about that. Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Item actions. So these are your action items, allegedly. So always remember, you can go and look at the project planning board for the FreeBSD project, laptop project. It's usually updated every month at the beginning of the month. So go take a look. You can either look here or you can just go straight into the repo and just do it like that if you want. I'm not actually sure the quickest way to get to the repo, but this is how we do it. And then you can find all the issues. And if you want the updates are in an update folder. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay. Oh yes, and then the other thing was to review the integration of enterprise working groups governance approach for the laptop and desktop working group. What makes a FreeBSD team? I think we might have an answer to that. We'll get to that in a minute. What makes a project? So let's come onto that in a minute, but those were the actions that Chris identified. Governance has been, as I understand it, slightly more streamlined to present to you this time than it was when it was presented last time. So we have here a hierarchy of statuses, and these are almost like a life cycle. So we're talking about if there's a piece of work or a need that we've identified, so things that we should be able to do on a laptop but we maybe can't currently, where does it sit in terms of maturity in this life cycle? Has it not been started? So, we say, well, we agree that you need to be able to do that thing, but nobody's working on it, so it's not started. Is it blocked? So that means, is the development blocked, or is it blocked in the sense that nobody's leading it, or nobody's can be found to work on it? In progress is actively being worked on. Complete, it's something that had a definite end that was finished. And graduated means actually someone else is actively managing that. So from the Laptop and Desktop Working Group point of view, we do not have to actively say, how's it going? And do you need someone to do the development work? Or do we need a champion to, move this forwards? It's fine. Someone's looking after it. It's got an owner. It's got a home. It's graduated. Where did this idea come from? If you're familiar with the CNCF, you will have seen that this is how they take their projects, open source projects. So they go into a sandbox, they then go into incubated, they then go graduated. They have a slightly different approach to it because they're talking about user adoption and we're not, because FreeBSD is already adopted. But it would be nice to know if people start using new features, perhaps. I'm going to stop there for a second and see if there's anyone on the call who would like to ask any questions or offer any comments. I don't see any hands up, so I think we can move on. All right. Oh yeah, do the feedback. Any new projects? Oh yes, okay. So what we're saying here is that when any project comes in, we will classify it based on the slide before. And if there's something that is suitable to come into the Ludwig, then anyone is welcome to present it. Just get in touch with Chris and say, can I raise this at the next meeting? We can add it if there's a good agreement on it. Oh, have I missed one? Yes. All right, now I'm going to put my other hat on and do foundation stuff. So what's going on with the foundation project? So we have, this is the same slide every time. It's just to explain to any new people on the call, what is this project? So the FreeBSD Foundation is working on a collection of functionalities to make laptop users better served by FreeBSD. So FreeBSD is better to use on a laptop. And you can see here that we have some focus on security, committer experience, but really probably the most important thing is that it's easier to adopt FreeBSD, particularly for developers. So this is my main contribution to this call as an individual. We have here the August update. So let me take you through this a little bit. Things that have been completed, there's a chunk of work going on for Modern Standby, which is S083. We also have a port of 6.9, Linux 6.9 graphics drivers. Now in review we've got some more things for Modern Standby. So the whole Modern Standby functionality is very close to being ready, but not quite. So we have a few things still in review. Wi-Fi, we're aiming to get some driver updates in for version 15, FreeBSD 15. There are also some changes for Wi-Fi 6 that's not going to be coming soon. The whole thing isn't going to be coming soon, but we're just making progress towards it. We've got some suspend and resume elements that relate to Wi-Fi that are in review, and there's some work for audio that's gone into review as well. And then I'll leave it to you to go ahead and read more. I think perhaps just a couple of things to call out here. there are two requests for well, there's one request for feedback, which is S4 Hibernate, which is basic. Well, you know what Hibernate is. It's a sort of power off sleep state. That we would like some feedback on the design of how that would be implemented. So this is, maybe not something that everyone wants to comment on, but if you want to, we'd love to hear from you. So you can just jump in to this document and add some comments. Let me just go back. And the other thing is, we'll come back. Actually, this is Emmerich's update, so I won't be able to. Emmerich, would you like to come off mute and say a bit about this? We don't hear you, Emmerich, or I don't anyway. No, Isaac's shaking his head to you. Maybe Emmerich, we go the second to give it a try.
The dedicated image for the testing is perfect solution. I can take one of my laptops, and try out. Are there any specific requirements or something?
Yeah, let's see if we can get. Oh, here's Emmerich. I mean, I can. It's pretty well described here. I can probably explain it if you can't get on like Emmerich. So basically, Emmerich's been working on implementing modern standby, specifically S03, which is the deepest modern standby state. Oh wait, it's the chat saying not in there. And yes, and so that work is currently in review, but while it's in review, it can still be tested, and that's always helpful. So Emmerich is. I've got this from Emmerich on my Slack. 1 second. Yeah, no, we don't hear you, Emmerich. Sorry. You'll just have to rely on me, and you can text in the chat in the Jitsi maybe. Yeah, so Emmerich's creating a testing image that should be available in the next few days, and we would absolutely love anyone to get that running on their laptop and give it a try. So that's going to be shared in the desktop mailing list, in the current mailing list, and in the FreeBSD forums soon. The first few people have tested it and given Emmerich feedback, so I believe he's just making a few changes. Wherever you find the request, please share your feedback at the same place. So just reply to the email on the mailing list or on the forum, wherever it may be. Yeah, and feedback on a variety of laptops is super helpful. It helps us to cross-analyze like what might be causing the problems and so on. And it's also nice to know if it did work, that it's working on loads of different laptops. So, Emmerich, do you want to give it another try before we finish on the slide? No, he's typing the Slack now. I'm whispering. Okay, yeah, Jitsi is a bit sensitive, and I'm sure they're recording this, so I can hear them. I thought it might be worth mentioning that anyone who's interested in Wi-Fi development, that is now a document. There is one of a series, I believe, of articles about Wi-Fi development has now been published in the FreeBSD journal. So if you're curious about that, go take a look. And there is a Wi-Fi development or developers call as well. So I think it's open to anyone. So hopefully I've not just let a secret go into public, but there is one. In terms of the project, the Foundations project, we have, as always, links that you can go to look at when you access this deck, which Chris will share later. You can click on any of these links and learn more. Okay, any questions about the Foundation project before I move on? CD-ROM, did you have any further questions? Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. No more questions. Waiting for the image.
Wonderful. So areas of interest is really stuff that we have in Ludwig that is not foundation work. So there was a question, I think, in one of the previous calls around what's going on with the framework CPU roadmap and support for 16, which I guess is the 16-inch model. So Chris sent a message to Framework and he had a response. The response was regarding the CPUs that the 12th generation Intel is being phased out, but AMD 740 will be sold until March 2026. I'm not entirely sure whether this is directly relevant, but we do, for our project, have a reference list, but it does not currently contain the 16. It does contain the 16-inch model, but it's not in our preferred section, so you can see that it's in here, but it's committed to support this for a different one. But that doesn't mean that other models won't work. It just depends what you're trying. All right, let's look at the worksheet. I think this is the most interesting thing. I was spending some time here. There we go. And I'd love to get some audience participation on this. Let's take a look at these categories. Hang on, what did Chris ask us to do? Review it. Who's interested in taking the lead? Add whatever's not on, and add anyone who's interested to lead. Who's working on this as a core project? Okay. So let's start with adding updates if we have any. I have added updates for anything that is related to the FreeBSD laptop project. It's the report you've already seen, so you probably don't need to go and read it more than once. So is there anyone in the room who's got an update on any of the other items?
So I have recently compiled the UMBM kernel module for the LTE modems. It was there is a on Bugzilla there is a thread for this one, and this is going to be default in the 15 release, but I made it work on the 14.2 and created the port backport for the 14 stable. So I think it's also important, to add this here, as most laptops use this kind of modems. So it's not the one that uses U3G driver, but it's USB UMBM. So it shows up as the Ethernet interface.
Yeah, so would we call this hardware in this category?
Or a network. Or network.
We only have wireless, not network.
It's wireless, yes.
Oh, it's
for
wireless.
the LTE mod. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like me to give you the link to this document?
Yes, please. Or you can paste the Bugzilla reference and then, fill the details later, as you wish.
Okay, but let me see. It's going to be quicker if we can do it now, I think.
Okay, so I got the link, thank you.
So I put that reference in there. Oops, in there. Also, because I won't be able to write down what you just said because I didn't completely understand it. I'm going to take this filter away because I think it may be confusing.
All right.
Sorry. I'll add the category. You can you're already doing it, are you? I'll put it in wireless. And then if you're taking care of it, it's graduated. And then do you think you said it was completed? It's completed?
It's not my work. It's not my work. I just tested, okay. So I'm not the author.
All right. Well, you may be the suggester then. So who does it say? It is, Pierre. Reported by Pierre, but not fixed by Pierre.
2022, it's the original report. Created, I think it's ported from NetBSD driver, and then there are some updates on the control packet parsing to fix the security issues.
Do you see who the author is? Was it Zenli Huang?
Adrian Chat, I think.
Oh, Adrian Chat. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks. And maybe, I wonder if there's anything in the initial report that explains what it could do. Do FreeBSD.
We can just paste the Bugzilla
That's what
reference for now and fill it later on.
Yeah, so thank you for that. Does anyone
Thank you.
else? Does anyone else
Thanks
have
to the
any?
guys who made it possible.
Yeah, definitely. Any other updates anyone knows about, even if they're not their own, that are in this list anyway? And it's quite a long list, isn't it? All right, let's.
Maybe the NVIDIA driver support. It's still in the NVIDIA Devel package, but it's the updated version, and it works pretty well, pretty stable. It fixes some issues on the RTX 5000 series. So I recently bought the 5070 GPU, and I didn't have a problem, but some people reported that the 5000 series has a problem with stability or even, the XOR working. So that fixes the issue.
So
The efficiency, I think, is better already, but it doesn't support the OpenCL or SUDA yet.
do we consider this performance or hardware? Maybe.
I think there is a dedicated issue for this, like
Oh,
GPU graphics.
Oh, okay.
Improve
Let's
SDDN.
see. Is there?
There is one for AMD. Yep. So there's the Bugzilla link.
So which line item do you think this is, or do we need to create one?
Maybe we need to create one. Category graphics.
Oh, graphics. Well, depends if you're using it for graphics, I guess. But yeah, fair enough. Right, we'll just add this one at the bottom then.
So that's the version 580.82.07. So quite aligned with the other operating systems. It's working very well, and also it improves and provides the acceleration in Linux later, like the reference.
So is that that's completed?
It's work in progress, but it brings the important improvement to the new RTX 5000 stability and performance. So it's an improvement, and the port is still the Devel port, but probably it will become the stable port, like the production port soon.
Can you, in line 39, can you add a description in the first column?
I added already in row 20.
Row 20? Okay, let's see.
If that's okay, I can add it
yeah,
in
no, it's
39.
fine. No, just don't worry, it's fine. Oh yeah, sorry, I've just overwritten what you wrote now. Yeah. Okay, well, it's at the bottom now, it's in 38.
All right.
Do you know who did the development work?
Tomoaki Aoki is kind of familiar with the drivers, but I think it's Austin Schaffer. It's not owner. Okay, let's not waste more time on this.
No,
we can update after.
Yeah. So actually, I think what I'm going to do is just sort by maturity. If I sort column, it will sort the whole thing. You would think, wouldn't you? Let's try that. Yeah, it does. Oh, okay.
I just hope to get the the OpenCL working even under the Linux later stuff. Maybe the native development will show up one day. It would be really nice. I had the older card like the GTX 1060, and the OpenCL was working with the lib6 shim package that kind of wraps the Linux IOCTLs or sysctls, but for the new driver it doesn't work yet.
All right. If it's okay with you, I was thinking that I would go through and see if we could go past the things that are graduated, and then look at the things that are in progress. I would love to know whether we think these are very well described here, because it says here better updating experience, but then we don't really have any description of what that really means. It says FreeBSD update package, etc., and or documentation on package base. And then we have a suggestion that we don't have. Oh, look, we have Charlie and Chris, but I don't know who Charlie and Chris are. And I think that there is work going on this, but I'm not sure that what role Charlie and Chris may have. I don't know who Mr. Snuggles is. So, first question is: does anyone know who these people are? By any chance?
So right now the switch or pre-release 15 is happening, and there is lots of traffic on the mailing list regarding this updates.
Can I stop you there for a sec? We'll come back to that in a second because I agree and I've seen it. I just wondered if we could figure out who these people are, and if we can't, that's fine. We can just update this with what we know. But I'd rather, yeah. Anyone happen to know who Charlie, Chris, or Mr. Snuggles is? Sounds like a no. All right. Well, in my mind, they're cats, but I'm sure they're real people, really. Okay, so the better updating experience, I think, like what you were saying, Thomas, is correct, that there is a lot of work going into this. And my understanding is that FreeBSD update was going to be replaced by package base, but now maybe they're going to be kind of FreeBSD update repurposed. So I think perhaps this is what you were talking about, Thomas, this FreeBSD update on the mailing list. Let me just click through. And is this the one you've seen?
Yeah, I think it's work in progress. Right now, some people like broke their base system, and there is a discussion ongoing whether the base separation between base system and the user land will be kept, and how to implement it using this package base approach. So I think it's work in progress.
Yeah. So it would be helpful. It would be helpful if we could define the initial state and target state. That would allow us to actually know what this means. Seeing as we don't have the original authors here, we could. I think it's something that we could try to do. And yeah. So the initial state, which is, let's say, like 14 something. I don't know what version we would put in here.
I think it's a general, overview of the upgrading and updating, and what we talk right now, what happens right now, it's the very specific implementation on a pre-release. So I think it's just a general task, to make things easier and smoother to upgrade between releases. But
I like things to be specific, because general means it's very difficult to know if you did it or not. So if we're saying the 14.x updating experience is like, what is it that we don't like about it?
I think the current approach was using FreeBSD update, and the new approach will be using package base. So the package base will probably replace the FreeBSD update.
That's right, but why are we replacing it? What was wrong with it?
The package base approach, from what I understand, allows, kind of customization of the base system. So it's going to help in cases where, the memory is limited, like embedded systems, or stuff that is not needed on per specific device specific. So it will allow better customization and trimming up, the operating system base.
The
Maybe
other part of it is that Colin doesn't want to maintain the server side of FreeBSD update anymore, because that's a bit of a pain, essentially.
Yeah.
And there's some security considerations there and whatnot, which aren't ideal. And so having reproducible package builds from the base repo is a big upgrade there. There's a process upgrade, essentially.
Okay. So to move to using package manager through package base, let me just to manage base.
I think the package is the same tool that will handle the packages, what we understand right now as user land, like the ports and the base system. So it's more like updating or replacing FreeBSD update with the PKG.
Yeah, I think I'd say initial state here is like the the classic FreeBSD update experience, essentially. Like how people are used to updating the systems on 0.14 using FreeBSD update. And then the target state is to have something as reliable and user-friendly on 0.15.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Isaac. I know you've been pretty close to this stuff. And I like the fact that we're not specifying the implementation details. Actually, that's better to do that way. That's not how you spell it. BSD update. But
I think the target state is to use the package utility with package base and replace that that setup replacing FreeBSD update. That is hard to maintain. So
yeah, I think that's the proposed solution, isn't it, to achieve the target state. So yeah, let's make a note in here then. But the latest thinking, there's a proposal that FreeBSD update might not actually go completely, but it might be included in.
Yeah, it basically just be kind of using the FreeBSD update user interface to do the package-based work underneath, and so it won't use the server side of the FreeBSD update current implementation anymore at all. It would more be FreeBSD update called a shell script called FreeBSD upgrade or a Lua script that then just calls package to use the install base packages. And then it could, for example, like have the FreeBSD base package repo disabled by default almost all the time, so people would have essentially the same user experience where package upgrade would not touch their base system at all. It would only touch their base system if they went through the FreeBSD update front-end wrapper for interacting with package. So that's Mark's proposal. It's linked on the mailing list, and that link you've got there, which I think is a pretty compelling way to go. But there's still open discussion and work on this, so it's not entirely clear what the solution that lands in 0.15 will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. I think this is documented enough, well enough for now. I would say it's. I would say it's. Do we think it's graduated? Do we think somebody's taking care of this? And if so, who is it? Because I feel like it's Mark Johnson that's looking after it at the moment. Whether he knows it or not isn't important. Well, he must know it. He put that proposal in, didn't he? Mark Johnston, I should say. Maybe Mark J. Business just knows. Right. Okay. So let's see if we can make progress on this one. Do we think it's not defined what this means, setting up a graphical, like what is the current state and what's the state we want to get to? But before we look at that, do we know who these people are? Espionage 724. And who's Carla Villa? Carla Villa. Please contact Chris Moores and Carla Villa. Alexander and Charlie. It's Charlie, I think. Does anyone know Carla Villa? So perhaps we shouldn't touch this if there's already an owner to it. So let's see if there's any others that need owners, because we're probably going to have the same question about those. So we have one here for better UTF and colour support in VT. So that was suggested by Hector Gray 123. I don't know who that is. Does anyone know who that is? And we don't have an initial state and a target state. And then we have a few comments in here posted on Reddit. Have a try using the DE and FreeBSD. Are UTF-8 and colours related? Are they different problems? And then Alfonso says he's documented this. Let's take a look. Documentation on colours. Okay. So I think unless we can define an initial state and a target state, that it's going to be difficult for anyone to own this.
So this is at least the color support is something I looked at a couple years ago, something like that. Yeah, it's non-trivial to implement, especially if we want all to support colors up to what we call true colors. It will require some breaking changes in several places between VT and the console code, the taken kernel library that takes care of character management and so on.
Breaking changes
So
in
yeah,
the...
I have no idea how to approach this while still maintaining compatibility, or at least have a correct way to handle the transition.
Do you have any notes available on this?
No, I don't think I have anything written down.
Maybe 8-bit colors palette would be a small step towards, and then maybe true color.
Yeah, this all comes down to the fact that we put the character, the foreground color, and the background color into the same integer. And at some point, we lack the space to have too much information about that character. So we already have like the original 8 colors or 16 colors palette support, but I think that's about it. And we also put some flags as well in that integer, so that integer is already pretty packed.
Okay.
With many things beside the character itself.
And is that...
So it has to replaced by some structure, right?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so we use a type def to define that character. It's based on an integer. So I think it's uint 32, but I might be wrong. I don't recall properly. That type def, like I think it's called taken charty, and it's also redefined elsewhere to another name and so on. So that integer is used in many places under at least 2 names, I think. Yeah, there are a lot of bit operations on top of it. So it might be difficult to find exhaustively all the places that expect an integer instead of something else. What I'm saying is that I find that that type is not correctly abstracted away, and that will be probably the first step to really clean how it is read and written too.
All right, I am going to suggest that we have just a few minutes left, 3 minutes. It's probably a good moment to go back to the slide deck and just finish up the call. I actually think that was super helpful, being able to go through even a couple, because if we did that every time, we could be making some progress. So, future and next steps. Next meeting date and time. So the next call will be Wednesday, October the 3rd. 8th. It's nearly 7 p.m. And then the call after that will be the same day of the month, in the following month. But Chris is trying to figure out what's going on with time zones. So he hasn't had a chance to work out what it will be after daylight savings change. But this one should be fine because it happens before. This is just talking about the spreadsheet. If you would like to spend some more time in that spreadsheet, please do. And if you think there's anything you can help with, either to add more information or to even just to ask questions, so that will help us move along, please do. And if you want to own something, it's even better. Yeah, I think I've said enough about the FreeBSD Foundations project. And yeah, stay in touch with the mailing list, stay in the forums. If you're looking for that testing image that Emmerich's working on, that'll be there too. Next meeting, we'll be doing the same thing again, basically. I might try and see if we can scale down the foundation update and spend more time in the spreadsheet, but I'll have to twist Chris's arm for that. So thank you for being here, and thank you for consenting to being recorded. That was nice to see you.